We're doing it live. So, welcome to today's video. I'm going to be sharing an introduction to OpenAI Swarms with some simple examples and simple demos. What are OpenAI Swarms? I'm glad you asked. So, according to OpenAI, OpenAI Swarms is an educational framework exploring ergonomic, lightweight, multi-agent orchestration. This is one of OpenAI's new experimental code repositories, which is available on GitHub. What it allows you to do is to very easily create teams of AI assistants or AI agents where a user can be triaged between members of that team for specific actions or activities. And what you typically have in these teams is a orchestrator agent who routes people through to the respective specialists, and then you have specialist agents that will do things like, as we'll see in these examples, they can fetch you the weather, they could tell you a joke, they could perhaps issue a refund for you if you were in an e-commerce setting. And the idea behind these agentic systems is that they can be used to power customer support teams or other workflows where it may be necessary for a user to be routed between specialists who are empowered with specific tools or specific roles in a system of agents. Anyway, I'm not going to talk too much about it. So what I did was I took the code and examples, some of them, from OpenAI's repository here in GitHub. And what I did was I basically reworked the code a bit so it's easier to run in Google Colab. I like using Google Colab, especially when I'm getting familiar with a new system, because it's just super easy to get up and running and started. So I took some of the code from OpenAI, and I also created a few examples of Swarm demos that were also in this code as well. And yeah, hopefully you'll have fun with it. Hopefully it'll give you ideas how to use these things, and hopefully you'll be up and running with them very quickly as well. So I'm just going to jump into the notebook. This is the basics notebook. I do have a couple of others, a couple of other OpenAI Swarms notebooks that I've created as well. One which is more advanced, which gets live flight statuses from an API service, an authenticated API service. I'm going to talk through that one in a separate video. And there is another one which has another airport customer support example, and then also one with a personal shopping assistant as well here. But for the purpose of today, we're just going to go through the basics. Oh, and I'll put a link to this notebook in the video description below. And if you want to connect with me, my LinkedIn's there. Please drop me a line. If you find the hub useful, if you find the code useful, please do give me a star or something on GitHub. I get very few stars, which is cool. Maybe my code sucks. I don't know. But yeah, I don't know, like things they warm your heart, they keep you going. Anyway, cool. So let's jump into it. I've been talking too much. All right. So first thing we're going to do, I've actually run these bits here. We're going to install just some packages to run this. So literally when you're starting out, just push this button. In fact, we'll push it. What the hell? We'll push it and you'll see that it's going to go into running the installs, and those installs are done. And then there's this other bit here where we're going to install the repository from OpenAI. And again, this is going to run. We'll give it a second. Okay, so it's getting the bits. That's run. Now what we also need to do, if you are a seasoned developer or coder, what have you, you've probably done this a billion times, but for people who may be new to these kind of things, you're going to need to set your OpenAI API key, and I've made this super simple for you. All you need to do is make sure that you're registered with OpenAI for an API key, and then what you'll do is you will add your API key into here. So you'll see this is where you keep your OpenAI keys in Colab. You'll just add it into there and you push the blue tick button, and that will make it accessible. And what I've done is I've just shown how you do that in here as well. Once you've done that, we now need to set the API key for this notebook. And I've pre-written a piece of the code which does that. Push that, your API key will now work with all the other code that runs. Now we're going to clone the Swarm GitHub. Oh, okay, so that's fine. I already ran that earlier. When you push this, it will look fine for you. So yeah, so that's the setup, and now we're just going to have a look at a few of the little demos or examples. So the first one here is just showing a very basic example of what happens when the code to run an agent to say an introduction. So here you see the name of the agent, instructions, your helpful agent. You run the code and it just shows, hello, how can I assist you today? And that's the basic introduction that most assistants or agents will use in Swarms. Nothing too complicated there, and you can't really interact with that bit. Next one is showing an example of greeting a user by a name. So again, in the context of maybe customer support, this is where this kind of thing would be useful. So we run the code, and you'll see in the code it says, you're a helpful agent, greet the user by name. There's a little bit of code here to print account details, and here you'll see that my name is James and my user ID is 123. And then what happens in the output here, it says, hello James, so it's got my name from the code above, how can I assist you today? And there's the account details. And what you'll also see is there's a message here which says, hello James, your account details have been printed successfully. And that is because this is the code here showing, or basically running a user input. Now we're not doing that through a chat interface yet, but that's showing that. So if I switch this out and I say, tell me your fave pizza. If I do that and I rerun the code, okay, and then you'll see that's changed the output message there, and we don't have any of that other stuff. But what it has done is it's grabbed my name, and again, if I change that to Bill and run that again, you see that it's changed to Bill. So this is a very, very basic example of how that would work. And obviously, if you're doing this in other settings, you would code this in more sophisticated ways. So the next example is a function call, and this is where we have a bit of code here where it will return a temperature, 67 degrees Fahrenheit, if somebody asks about the weather. And we see in the code here, it says, agent, you're a helpful agent. What's the weather in New York? Which is the simulated user message. So we run that code. We see the current temperature in New York is 67 degrees. Now this is hard coded to always say 67 degrees Fahrenheit. So if I change that to London and I run it again, you see that it just says the current temperature in London is 67 degrees Fahrenheit. And again, this is showing that you can use these functions to make available a bunch of data or data points which could then be used by an agent in the process of having a conversation with the user. So for example, I could add a definition here which says def get exchange rate, and I could say euros 1.6 and dollars 1.2, and then it would be able to return the respective exchange rates for those currencies. Again, this is very, very basic, very introductory level, but good to get a handle for the basics. So now the next agent, this is one that I created, so it doesn't exist in the OpenAI repo. It's just one I was having a go with. And what I wanted to do was just test how much the agents will adhere to character instructions that you give them. So what I have here, kind of a humorous example, I created a broken car salesman agent. So this won't route to other agents in the network. It's just a single agent, and this agent is programmed to try and sell you a broken down car. So first up, we've got a bit of code here which does the styling for the chat interface, and now we're going to have a look at an example with actually running a chat interface and interacting with the agent in a free flowing multi-turn conversation. So you see here that we've got the agent, and here's my instructions. You're a helpful agent that at every opportunity seeks to sell the user a broken down car. You know the car is broken down, but find ingenious ways to frame the benefits of a broken down car. Got some little emojis for the faces of the characters. And yeah, let's run the code and we'll see what this looks like. So you see we've got a dialog box here, and I'm actually going to pop this into full screen. Up, up, up. There we go. Hello. Actually, I'll zoom a bit. Hello, how can I assist you today? Are you in the market for a unique car experience? Here we go. Perhaps something with great character that tells a story wherever you go. Not really. I prefer to walk. Walking is an excellent choice for health and sustainability, true. However, imagine having a classic car that's more like an art piece, a conversation starter that you can park in your driveway. A broken down car can add a rustic charm to your property, and it's a fantastic way to dive into the world of car restoration at your own pace. Plus, it's an opportunity to get your hands creative when you're not walking. Would you like to hear more about this unique experience? Nah, thanks, bro. I'm low on cash. See what it comes back with. I completely understand saving money is important, true. You know, a broken down car can actually be a cost-effective alternative to a gym membership. Okay, pushing or working on the car can be a great workout, all while you learn some new skills. Plus, it doesn't require gas or insurance until you decide to make it roadworthy. It's the kind of investment that pays you back with knowledge and maybe a few laughs along the way. If you're curious, I can find you an option that fits a tighter budget. Not. I'm gonna actually. Let's see if this works. I don't do this. Non, merci beaucoup. I think that's. J'aime. I'm going to put French in. J'aime or jouer or foot. It's my attempt at French to say no, thank you very much. I love to play football. Let's see if it replies in French or in English. What? Look at that. Even though I haven't programmed it or asked it to speak French, the Swarm agent automatically has shifted into French language. Here we go. Je comprends tout à fait. Le football est un excellent exercice. Cela dit, un vieux taco mal en point. I don't know what this means. But anyway, that's what's cool about this Swarms library. It's very flexible. And again, this is an experimental framework that OpenAI have made available. It's experimental, but there's a lot of fun to be had in it. And you can see how powerful it could be with these abilities to dynamically adjust to the user as needed. And what I'd also say is just look at the way it handles like natural language. I know we're kind of used to this with AI, but still it's pretty good. Look, no thank bro. I didn't even spell that sentence right. Yet it maintained consistency in tone. Yeah, very impressive. I like it a lot. Okay, so anyway, I think we've seen enough of that example. So yeah, while we're running through the code, one of the things I wanted to point out as well is when you're running these snippets of code, just always go up here, and then once you're done with a particular snippet, just hit interrupt execution, because you have to. There's something in the code that will keep that cell running or that little script running until you hit interrupt execution. Okay, for our next example, we have just a short script which shows an agent handoff, which shows the automatic rerouting of a user to a Spanish-speaking agent. So here you can see you've got an agent which speaks English, you only speak English, and the Spanish agent, you only speak Spanish. And then the code or the function to do that says transfer to Spanish agent, transfer Spanish-speaking users immediately. Very simple script. You run it, and it just will print the Spanish message there. Okay, so on to our next example, and this one is a little bit longer. It's a single AI assistant with multi-functionality and web information retrieval from APIs. So this isn't a system where a user is passed between multiple agents. It's just one AI assistant agent who's equipped to do a few things. And what we can see in the code is that There's a list of quotes and a list of movie titles. So a couple of things the assistant can do will be to ask to give the user a movie quiz and to give them random quotes. There is also the ability to print some account details to get the weather, but the weather one isn't from a live source. There is also the ability to get cat images from a live web source, to get a random joke from a live web source, and to get a random fact as well. And we can see here how the instructions are set for the agent. So you see your helpful agent, if the user asks for weather, ask them for their location and use the get weather function. So that will do that. If the user asks for the account details, use the print account details function. So you can see how easy, at least at an introductory level, it can be to program these agents. Then we've got the rules for the movie guessing game. So it says to get a random movie title, don't tell the user the name of the movie, use the movie clue to give the user a hint, and to check the movie guess to verify the guesses, to give the user the answer if they're stuck, and to start a new game only when asked to or when the previous game has ended, and then there are some further instructions for the other capabilities of the agent. Anyway, let's jump into it and let's see how this one works. Okay, so I'm going to put this into full screen mode, and we can see it says, welcome, you can start interacting with the agent. Try asking about the weather, your account details, playing a movie guessing game, getting a quote, seeing a cat image, hearing a joke, or learning a random fact. So first let's go, hey there, let's play a film quiz game. Again, my spelling is off there, and I haven't asked for the movie quiz or the movie game specifically, but you can see it's successfully routed me. And that, again, it's a really nice thing about these agents. The ability to interpret natural languages is really good. So the movie was released in 2008. So it says, assistant, great, let's start the movie guessing game. Here's your first clue. This movie was released in 2008 and it's an action film. Sorry, I don't know. Give us a clue. No worries, here's a clue. This movie features a well-known superhero dressed in black who's fighting against chaos in Gotham. Okay, Batman. Oh, okay. No! It gave me a clue with a bat and a kapow. Whoa! I did not ask it to do that. Huh. That emoji hint was neat. Wow. Nice try, but that's not the one we're looking for. Keep guessing. Here's your clue for inspiration. This movie features a well-known superhero dressed in black who is fighting against chaos in Gotham City. Batman Begins? What year is it? 2008. Yeah, Batman Begins. Great guess, but that's not the right answer. You're getting warm, though. Keep thinking along those lines. Here's a clue, Toby. This movie's part of a famous trilogy. The Dark Knight. The Dark Knight. Bravo, you're absolutely right. The movie was The Dark Knight. Okay, I'm going to skip out this and then jump into it again, just so we can see. Oh, sorry. So, okay, yeah, we can see here in the window. Okay, would you like to try another movie guessing game, or is there something else you'd like to do? I'll just scoot these down a bit. Let's hear a... actually, let's do another movie. See what it says. Okay, fantastic. Okay, let's dive into a classic. Here's your clue. It's a Western film released in 1966. Oh my goodness. Give us a clue. It's a Western film. I need more of a clue. This film features a trio of gunfighters competing to find a fortune in gold buried in a remote cemetery. I don't know this one. Just tell me the answer. No worries. It was the good, the bad, and the ugly. Anyway, what that shows is that the instructions that I put into the assistant, where I said if the user doesn't know the answer, just tell them and then ask them another question, it's adhered to those, so that's pretty good. Okay, let's move on from this. Okay, can I instead have a quote, something inspirational? Here's an inspirational quote for you. In the middle of difficulty lies opportunity. Albert Einstein. Okay, so that has routed me through to the quotes list, or the quotes capability. Now let's say I'd love a pic of a cat, please. Oh, and here's the picture of the cat. Yep. Let's see this one in all its glory. Look at that, hey? So I'm going to zoom out just a little bit more. There we go. I'd love a pic of a cat, please. And there's the picture of the cat. Looks great. Okay. And what else can you do for me? Okay, so here's the full list again. Yeah, very good, isn't it? It's very good. Weather updates, account details, movie quotes, cat images, jokes. Okay, finally, let's have a funny joke, please. And again, look, I'm typing this quickly, not spelling particularly well. What is a witch's favourite subject in school? Spelling. Okay, that was a terrible joke. I'm gonna need another cat image to cheer me up because that's actually made me feel sad. Let's have another cat picture. Ah, champion. Look at that cat picture. Brilliant. Amazing. So anyway, yeah. I really like that example. Oh, also, when you're doing this, don't forget to hit interrupt execution. There we go. So that's the execution. Yep. So anyway, yeah. I'm really enjoying Swarms. I think it's a great repo to get into and a great thing to start experimenting with. I've actually, as I say, I've been using it for a while now, and I'm finding it very accessible. And there's some pretty cool things you can do with it, especially when you start to program in specific agents that have tools or abilities to call information from specific sources. Yeah, super exciting. And hopefully this notebook will be useful to you. I'm going to put a link to it in the description below. And yeah, hope you've enjoyed this video, and I'll catch you in the next one. Thanks.